Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Bear again from McLean's RV. I am standing in the 2024, that's right, the newest year model of Winnebago's Forza 38W. The 38W is going to be one of my favorite floor plans because if you're looking for that true party ability to have your entire family in a diesel pusher, this is kind of Winnebago's entry line into the world of diesel pushers, big enough to sleep up to 10 people. Let's get into it and talk about the Forza 38W. Okay, inside or outside, the Forza 38W has a lot to talk about. I love that this front entry is actually going to have its own awning above. Both this door's awning as well as the main awning are completely armless. What that means for you is that they float, so if you're taller than I am, you don't have to worry about an arm coming down that could hit your head. You're going to notice all of its windows are frameless. I've got even in here a hidden TV, so if you're tailgating, this is kind of the perfect place to hang out. We've got a few different exterior colors, but all of them come with true full body paint that's automotive and made to give you that longevity, lasting both in the aesthetic value and in resale value. That's going to help you out. Now the XCS chassis does give a great amount of storage. Oh, before I show you, that's a dog leash latch. That's for your doggos. If you got the furry friends, you can latch them into here. But I love the amount of storage in this thing. So you'll see, if you know, it does actually pass all the way through. Now, we talked about the XCS rail before in another video, but I want to touch on it one more time here. That does mean it's a straight rail system. What that means is you can see how the rail goes through the middle. When you go to some of the higher end levels, that's going to change. But for this level of the market and for its price point, this is hard to beat. It is a fully heated pass-through section. And now behind me, we're going to get into, here's your water tank. Really cool. Winnebago actually makes and molds their own water tanks to the floor plan. So it's going to have the better fit, finish. It might not look aesthetically as pretty as what some of them might, but the nice thing is when you're driving down the road over years and years of using this thing, the tank was built, designed for this floor plan. Really nice thing. Just quickly note, it is Michelin tires. They did not cheap out. I won't get into it too much, but that's a great feature for you. It's not any of those Chinese tires that people worry about. Back here you do have your inverter switch, as well as it's another lighted pass-through or non-pass-through storage. This is just on this side. Now the last one's going to be the batteries. You're going to come with 4. If you want, folks, we can upgrade those, make them bigger, or you can switch out to lithium, and you do have room for more if you want to. Now, being that this is a diesel pusher, when we're in the back, you're going to see, I don't have it open right now, but that's where the generator's located. So, again, generator in the rear because your engine's, or sorry, I'm speaking backwards. This is where your engine is, your generator's in the front. I'm thinking gas ones, that was my fault. So, engine back here, you can hear it rumbling. I got it on because we were trying to get the AC cooled down. But again, it is a 10,000 pound towing receiver hitch. That means that the hitch is rated for 10,000 pounds. I wouldn't recommend that you go that high, but if you want to get into the towing capacities and the specifics, call me. Again, we'll throw the number down at the bottom of the video. Coming around this side, you're going to have more battery, as well as your fuses control. Above this, just so you know what you're looking at here, this is furnace exhaust, water heater exhaust, and that's your dryer exhaust. Again, this does have a full washer and dryer, not a combo unit. I hate the combo units because they don't ever seem to dry enough. On the Forza's 38W, you get separate units. It's better for you going. Of course, it's a 2024, so the states do regulate. There's your DEF, and then we do have your power cord. It does have an automatic transfer switch. If you don't know what that means, that just means that you don't have to plug it into anything. Once you turn the generator on, it transfers the power and your generator's going to run everything. Coming forward, next door is the most important one, right? It's our wet bay. Again, this is a heated wet bay. When you do run the furnace, you're heating in here as well. I love that they give you a true outdoor shower. It's not like a hose with a sprayer. And then you do have inline water filter, dump station, and your fresh water can come in here. You still have a black tank flush. That's God's greatest gift to the RV world. When that was invented, people got a lot more efficient, and I won't get into it, but if you don't want to smell what you do, you don't have to worry about your doo-doo. It's great. All right, going through other side of your pass-through. Now with that other door open, that's going to highlight this a lot better. Again, that's going to be open in the door that you're looking through right now. The door in front of it And then one thing to note when we zoom out here, you'll see these are truly what we call slam latches. So I mean, you don't have to be shy with them, just slam them, they'll close. And then this one, you can tell, see how it has no lock on it. In the United States, you cannot lock propane, so your propane sits there, but you do still have the rest of that overhead storage going all the way past through, and they gave you a little bit more. I think that was nice of Winnebago. I appreciate that. Last thing to note is you'll see both on the front, on the driver's side and the passenger side, this right here, you can actually fill your fuel from either side. So it doesn't matter where you're at to get your diesel, you can fill it on either end. Up front, fast and last one, this is not really a storage compartment. This is going to be more for your fuses and for the technicians. Not so much for you, but if you buy this and you're a diesel mechanic, or if you're a master electrician, I won't stop you, but that's where your fuses are. Another thing to note, we've talked about this in the Mini Winnie. I love that Winnebago does this. Your side cameras are on the mirror, not on the side of the RV. What that means is when you do turn on your turn signal, you're going to get a true full view of the side, and it's not one of those ones where you're like flush up against the RV. It's where the mirror is, so it's more natural, gives you a better view, and really makes sure that not only are you safe, but so are the people on the side of the road. Now, I misspoke earlier, obviously. Yes, diesel means the engine's in the rear, so your generator's in the front. There's a switch down at the bottom. This whole tray pulls forward, this front part here. The back is a full fiberglass cap. The front, you got fiberglass here because your window's there, but when you pull this out, that's where the generator's gonna be. It's a big enough own-end to cover everything that's inside here. Again, stairs are automatic. You got that awning. Man, I love that awning. I know it sounds silly, but I like to come out in the shade. Another thing I didn't mention on it though is you'll see kind of, if you look up at it, that you've got the light strip on it. Now at the daytime the light strip doesn't mean much, but at nighttime I like that these lights, they're on the outside part of the awning. So what that means is when you push the awning out, your lights are further away from the RV, and the benefit of that to you is if there's bugs or anything out in kind of nature, the bugs are attracted to the light that's further away from the RV. You can get in without having to worry about bugs as much. It's just those little things that Winnebago thinks about that makes the Forza really awesome for its price point. So this is on Freightliner's 340 XCS chassis. So that's 340 horsepower. XCS, I like to say it stands for extra cargo space, and we'll sure get outside in a little bit to show you, but that means it's straight rail chassis. It is equipped with a 10,000 pound tow hitch, and it's got 700 foot-pound going on it with that 340 horsepower. Nice things to note, you got your auto level control, your generator control, shades, lights, and heated mirrors all right here with that new digital dash and a touch screen, radio, CarPlay, Android Auto control right in your face. Tons of comfort, tons of room for you when you're on that diesel pusher. And of course, my favorite thing that's going to have is that air horn. I'll spare you the loudness though of it right now. Nice things you can see on this side, I've got down our day shade, but you can see the night shade is made as a full blackout material, and you can see the window to the passenger side has that blackout down as well. There is also a window on our front entry door. We've got the blackout curtain kind of covering that at the moment, but we'll open it back up when we do come out. Nice things to talk about too on the dash. You can see it's a flattened dash. I like this because if you've got stuff that you're storing, it's flat, but you've got extra storage space here with charging, good for your phones, nice for a little cubby to hide things away. When you switch out of the driver's seat into the passenger seat, cool things to note on this is you've got a recliner, it'll pop up. You have a desk that'll come out, and both these seats do swivel, so if you're hanging out in the living room area and you want to kind of converse but be sitting in the captain's chairs, you're good and able to do so while it's out of the way. Another thing to notice is you will see the control right here. Rick's standing in it, so I won't move it now, but you do have a step cover, so when you are on travel, if you've got dogs, kids, anything that you'd be worried about, you can actually push this step cover. You see it'll go out, and that's going to give you that kind of closed thing because this is a front entry diesel, not a mid-entry. Nice and good way to be able to close that off when you're on the move. I'm going to go ahead and close it, but when you come into these, again, that Forza being Winnebago's kind of true entry level on the diesel pushers, you might have heard before of like the Horizons, the Journeys, the Tours, the Grand Tours. Those were its higher end market shares. Now that Winnebago owns Newmar, I think the Forza is its bread and butter as far as that entry-level diesel pusher. You will notice what looks kind of funny standing next to Rick is this ladder here. So above your dash, you do have the overhead bunk. It's got a little remote control here. It's nice because it's all electric, comes down, covers you. But what I really like is the mirror that's actually on the base of it, because when you're sitting in the driver's seat, it's nice. You can actually see your passengers. If you have kids, I'm lucky right now, I just have nieces, but it's cool because when it gets suspiciously quiet, you want to be able to look back and see what's going on back here, and you can kind of check out what's going on from that mirror. You do have a little storage cubby on the side here, but I like to note it because what you're seeing here is essentially like a Wi-Fi extender or a Wii Boost kind of satellite extender to pull that signal and increase it. You do have both slide controls for the front slides up here, as well as on that side you saw you do have your bed control and more storage. Winnebago's really good about giving you storage. Won't tell you what you use it for. We're just going to give you as much as we can. Moving into the living room side, as you can see, we do have the window shades down. I'll try and, before we finish this video, get them up just so y'all can see it, but we're cooling it down because it's nice and summer temperatures in here today. This floor plan, the dinette is going to be kind of standard, but one thing that can change, you have the option. This is a pull-out sleeper sofa, and I'm talking, and it'll come all the way out. We'll show you in a little while. But the other option on that is theater seating. So if you do prefer recliners, maybe you're going to sleep a few less people, you do have the ability to order this with theater seating or the sofa. Both are awesome options. Call me. We can talk about current inventory. Obviously, I'm standing in one with the theater or with the sofa option. But moving back to the dinette, because they're all going to come with this, I do like to talk about, you have a ton of hidden storage under these. Now the cushions are kind of in the way, but you can see it's unobstructed, true storage underneath both of them. And now when you move both these cushions out of the way, one thing, if you zoom out, Rick, you'll be able to see is that this table, you just push it, and then boom, you got it in bed mode. Take the cushions, throw them over, and whether you're tiny or you're just the one who's I call non-ticketed or non-paying customer, this is a great bed for you, right? Whether it's dog bed, kids, hanging out. Again, always for size reference, I'm 5'10". I'm good here with probably a pillow with my feet going into that little part. If I go diagonal, I've got true 6 foot space. But again, if you're shorter or if you need less space, or again, if you're the non-paying customer, this is a great extra option. If you really want to be nice in one of these storages, when you have that lifted up, maybe put some bedding, something, help them out. It's also good because, again, for that pull-out sofa, you could have bedding hidden in here. So great storage area, good to go. While I'm sitting here, I do want to talk about one of the things that Winnebago does differently than every other manufacturer. One of the benefits when you buy a Winnebago Forza or some of their higher-end motorhomes in the Class C market is that Winnebago started as a furniture company. Now, why does that matter to you? You probably would think it doesn't, but it does. So the cabinetry that we're looking at here all throughout this RV was built in-house by Winnebago. In fact, the entire slide wall that I'm sitting in right now was made in Winnebago as part of the original wall. Winnebago uses Asdel panels, so that's the nicest, lightweight, man-made composite, never gonna mold or mildew panels in the wall. And they actually, when they build this, they build the whole wall, they cut out the slide, they cut out the windows, and then they put that all back together when they're actually making it. So you get a true fit on your slide and a true fit on your walls. But the cabinetry itself, also being made in-house, is built into the actual frame of the RV. So you get a decent amount of storage, but the nice thing is this is going to be super strong, right? So like for reference, I weigh 182 pounds. I went to the doctor yesterday, and it's lifting my whole weight on there. That might not be the best angle, but the fact that these are built so well into it, you know, if it can hold up my 182 pound self for a couple seconds, it's going to hold all the stuff that you're putting in here, no problem. All right, I'm going to leave the dinette like this again so you can see that bed mode, but do note you got charging stations. So if that dinette was back up, you wanted to do cards, or if you wanted to use it as kind of a desk workstation, you do have the plugs there. You did also have plugs on that passenger seat. Like I said, it does have the desk that comes up. We'll probably highlight that in the video for you to see, but it's got charging station as well. Sleeper sofa, right? So you do have this. This is what I call a trifold sleeper sofa. So this is going to come out, and this whole thing will pull to allow that to go flat. Hard to do in one sitting, so I might just show you in a secondary video over my voice what this looks like. But it's a nice trifold pull out, so if you have 2 adults, maybe a younger couple, say this is the kids, the grandparents, and the grandkids. Your kids could sleep there, your grandkids could sleep there, and if that's not enough, you got bunks behind us. We'll get to that in a second though. And hey, if you're thinking, man, I don't like other people, you're not alone. Sometimes I like to have my RV where even though it has the capabilities to have all these people sleeping in it, I like to use it as a couples camper. And the cool thing with that is if you get the theater seating recliners instead of the sleeper sofa, that's not a bed. You can have that dinette just stay as a dinette. They don't need to know. And we'll get into my favorite part for if you're using it as a couples camper in a second. But first we're going to talk about the kitchen. We'll come right back to it. This kitchen, awesome counter space. You can see it's actually a fully built counter. It's not one of those little like coverings where it peel and stick. It's a true countertop. You do have that 3-burner stove that is known in the RV world. It's common, easy, Furrion, tried and true. But what's really nice in this kitchen specifically is you now have the convection oven with the air fryer, the grill, the steam, the simmer, the steam clean mode. This is about as nice of a microwave and or convection oven that you're going to get. You can kind of see all the things I just listed right there. But look at this when we open it up. It is not one of those rinky-dink tiny microwaves. It's not a small oven. You could put a whole turkey in there if you really wanted to, depending on the size of the turkey, right? That's great to feed your whole family. Another thing cool to notice, so Winnebago does give you what I call adjustable shelving in your pantry, so you can actually move these and put them at the height where it makes sense based on your stuff. And yes, you do get, even though this is the entry level of diesel, a true residential fridge. So that's going to run off the inverter, does have an ice maker, and look at all that storage. So again, because it runs off the inverter, you can run it even with just the battery going down the road. Obviously, you can turn on the generator though if you want to get a little more power. Moving back to the back side of the kitchen, I do just like to note you got all of this nice cabinetry, both overhead and beneath. Good sized drawers, plenty of room for all of your appliances. You do have plugs both in the wall, on the side. They're kind of spread sporadically, but in places where it makes sense. Another nice thing that I do think, right, so if you're coming from the travel trailer world or like the lower end of the market, most of what you're probably used to are what we call rocker switches for your lights. So I love this. I'm not even that old and I'm not that blind, but what I do say is I'm forgetful, so I don't have to worry about, hey, what button does what. It's all labeled, it's all simple. Whether you want to turn off the light at a specific area, or even if you want to open up the vent fan, which is nice, they do have that right above us here in the kitchen to get the steam out if you're cooking. You can do all of that from the controls. Even better is when you're sitting in the dinette or if you're sitting in the sofa, you actually have them right above your head here too. Hard to see, but I'll just show you kind of how it works. You see the lights that just turned off in the galley. We'll do the one right above me, the sofa. It's easy. It's all labeled and you know what you're doing. You don't have to think. One thing to note, come look at this. These cup holders, everyone asks me, oh, what is this weird little thing here? So this cover comes off and it comes, they make a table and it sits right into that kind of insert right there, so you can have like a little round table, just as for, I call it like a movie eating tray for popcorn or something like that. Sofa is nice and comfy, and for someone my size, we could probably have 3 of us here. So if you do want more seating, again, versus that theater seating option, this is going to be more wide, more spacious, and it does have that pull-out ability. What we're looking at here from this angle though is you do have that giant TV. It's expansive, soundbar's already built in, and you do have your fireplace. Now one thing that's cool with this fireplace, right, so we can turn it on, and let's see, hit the wrong button, Brandon. So lights, nice. You can have this just for picturesque kind of aesthetic value. I'm not going to do it because again, it's hot today. We're in, I think, the 80s or 90s right now, but you could turn this on as just aesthetic like I have it right now, or you can turn it on for the heat. And I think you can change kind of through the light mode if you want it dimmer, brighter, just the coals, which is a nice little feature, right? It's aesthetic, it's nice. Even though we're in that entry-level diesel, you're getting kind of some of those enters into the nicer market, right? Now, TV, right? So say you're sitting in those captain's chairs and you want to watch it. You do have this little valve right here. That's a release, and once you hear that sound, you know that, hey, my TV will come out. You can swivel it all the way to more of the like front of the living, or If you're in here, you can swivel it more to the sofa. You could even swivel it to what I call the bunk bed section, or I got a different name for those bunks. And again, that's what I was going to say. One of my favorite things for couple campers we're going right to. Okay, you do have satellite connection, so if you do want to throw a satellite and receiver, you can. I personally am a bigger fan of the Wi-Fi because, again, Wi-Fi, you now can use the satellite dish network with Starlink and all of those things. We can put on whatever accessory you need here. Again, McLean's is full service. We've got sales, service, finance, parts, everything that you can dream of the RV world, and we have the guys who can do that. You can call me and I can get you with either myself for the sales portion or with one of our technicians for that service, accessories, and parts and stuff. You can see a little bit more storage in here. That's a really good place to hide a DVD player if you're like me. Remember, when you're on the road, sometimes if you don't have Wi-Fi, it's great to have a DVD player because that will work anywhere. Okay, now this is what I was talking about. So a lot of people call this bunk beds, and like I said, I'm not always the most friendly person. I don't want to use it as a bunk bed. The coolest thing that I think they do, I call this the wife closet or the second closet, extra closet. My fiance has a lot of clothes. She might yell at me for saying that in the video, but what's great is this can be an entire hanging closet rod for her. You have extra kind of, I don't know a good name for that. That's just extra storage. But on top of that, we are animal lovers. So if you have a dog, this is a great dog bed. And if you don't have a dog, that's okay. It's also good for storage. I want to show you this. Look at this. Boom. Look at all that extra storage. That is, to me, awesome. You can agree or disagree, but I love this because you can hide a bunch of stuff in there. So closet, and like I said, if you are using it as a closet, the cool thing is you can actually unbutton these and you got the curtain to come across. I'm gonna just do one side, but you can see what the other side would look like, right? So that'll fill up that space. Now if you do have visitors, there's some plugs on the wall. You can bring this bunk down. I'll show you real quick. Easy to move into the friendlier version. Now both top bunk and bottom bunk have their windows, so no one's ever going to have to feel claustrophobic if they need. They both have their own lights and their own plugs. So good for anyone, you know. Oh, size reference. I almost forgot to do that. We'll go on the bottom bunk just so I can show you. But again, if you haven't got sick of me saying this in videos, I'm still 5'10", and you can see it's about a 6-foot bed length. I'd call it like a twin XL. But again, for those non-paying customers, it's a great sleeping option if you want, or for a dog bed / closet combo. That's my way of doing it. Your decision, you decide. All you got to do is call me to buy it, right? Now, we're going to go into one of the other features that really makes the Forza's 38W stand out. Rarely in this market do you find a true 2-bathroom model. So this is a true 2-bathroom, and what I mean is we're coming in, you can see you've got the toilet, which again, most are like, oh, bath and a half, here's the toilet, and that's nice. And I mean, look, you got a nice expansive window in here showing you the RV we got next door. Gotta love the vanity, right? Because you got mirrors on both sides and storage. You got storage down there, but it's what's behind me that's the best. Look at this shower. So this is shower number 2. We haven't even gotten to shower number 1 for the master. This is shower number 2. Still has a glass door, still has a seat, so whether you want to, you know, I don't know if you got to shave your legs or if you're like someone who likes to have an adult beverage in the shower. I'm not saying I do that, but I wouldn't judge you if you do. Come on in. You got a whole second shower that's accessible, and the coolest thing is because this is the secondary bathroom, right? We haven't shown you what it looks like with the slides closed, but we might do that here later. It's nice because you can walk all the way from the front to the bed in the master, even when the slides are closed. So in theory, if you want, you could take a shower while you're going down the road. No problem. Shower's fully accessible. If you do want to get to the master bath, you'd have to go over the bed, but this one is fully accessible at all times. Touchscreen control panel, really nice. You can see right now we've got the generator running to cool us down, but very low hours. We're going to keep that low for whoever owns this one. You got your main lights, tank levels, everything here. They've made it nice and simple, and you do have your Truma Aqua Go. That's your Insta Hot for like your furnace, your heater. Really simple to run. Now the bedroom, nice sized bed, love it. It's gonna be a little bit more comfortable than the normal mattress in Winnebagos, But what I will say is, like most people, if you're like me, I might put a mattress topper on it. You do have charging stations on both sides, but the coolest thing is that silver disc you're seeing on top, that's actually a wireless charger. So when you're actually throwing your phone down at night, you don't even have to plug it in. That opens up those plugs for other things. Now, you got that same awesome overhead cabinetry inside the Winnebago, but what's hard to see, and I'm just going to kind of point at it, we'll talk about it though, is you have the same power switches like we did in the Dinette earlier, but the biggest advantage is you have a full-on master switch for your lights. So it's going to be weird, but boom, just like that, all the lights in this RV are off. Just like that, they're all on. The other cool thing is you also have your generator control right here as well. You can turn the generator on and off from where I'm sitting on that panel. Now, why does that matter? So obviously, being the master, if you're at a campsite, if you're just staying overnight a place, one of the biggest things I like is to feel secure and safe, right? Everyone does, especially if you have your whole family in this thing. Again, it can sleep like 10 people. You want to feel safe. So if you hear anything in the middle of the night, you know you can turn on all your lights right from above your bed, and you can also turn on that generator. For example, right now, like I said, it's hot. I want the AC on. We got the generator running. But let's say maybe during the nighttime it was cool, but in the morning time you're sleeping in and it got hot. You can turn the generator on from here, and then your ACs are going to kick on automatically. You don't have to worry about it. Boom, you're taken care of. Another nice thing, you see right behind me, we do got that blackout shade again. So you can open this up. Again, all the windows pretty much will have that day shade for privacy, night shade, or blackout shade I call it, but you do have a window on both sides of the bed. This is great for that cross ventilation if you want to get a little bit more air. And one thing a lot of people ask me, because you don't really see it when you walk into the room, and there's a reason for it, is, hey man, where's the TV? Well, if you're hanging out in the Forza, boom, just from on top, you got the TV that pops down. As you can see, they like to tell you it's a smart TV, so it's already got set up for Netflix, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Basically, all you need is Wi-Fi, right? So we'll put that back up for now. And I love this closet, so we'll get it completely open. You can see giant hanging space. There's some hoses and little accessories that Winnebago does throw in for free, but it is just a ton. Again, cabinetry fully made in Winnebago. Another thing I didn't talk about benefit-wise to you on that, but outside of it being built well and into the actual frame of the RV, Winnebago keeps all its parts for like 10 years. I went to the factory and it almost looked like football fields stacked on top of each other of just parts. After 10 years, they could probably still refabricate this. So you're not kind of in that game with some of the other manufacturers of, if this ever was to get broken, and if you have kids in this, it very well could. Winnebago can fix it, and it's not like they have to call and find the manufacturer, find out if they're still in business, figure out the part, get it. It's a streamlined process. In fact, McLean's only carries a few key manufacturers in our motorhome world because we know time over time they've been able to do both warranty work and get parts for our customers even after their warranty time period. Winnebago is known for that. That is the benefit you get here. I really do like that on this year's model they got this nice full standing mirror. I think I look weird in it, but that's just a me thing. But really cool is that you do have that space for looking in and seeing, kind of more space for usually like getting ready and stuff. Before we go into the final bathroom, just a quick note, obviously no floor heat. It is all coming from the side of your cabinetry. You can kind of see it there. That's, again, one of my favorite features in any RV if it has it, because that means you have a true solid subfloor, but it also means that all of your heat is going to be coming out in a way where if you have dogs, kids, dirt, if you're like me and like Cheetos and you drop them, you don't have to worry about them falling into your furnace vents, burning or blowing up on you whenever you first turn the furnace on in the wintertime. Now, in the master bathroom, again, you're going to have that nice shower. It's got a little seat in it again here for you, but reference right, if you're 6 foot or over, you're going to go under the skylight. If you're less, you're going to be clear and good. You got the glass door, you got the atomizer on the shower head. That makes it use less water, but super efficient. Now, another nice thing that I really like that they did on this model is that they put not just a combo unit, but you got your dryer on that side, and your washer's going to be hidden over here. So you have both units. You can pretty much live in this thing. In fact, I've got a few customers who I think pretty much are going to guaranteed use this as a true extended stay. Now, I wouldn't live in it, but I would love it for a long trip. Another nice thing is your second air conditioner, right? So this is a 50 amp RV. It's got 2 ACs. Second one is put in the bathroom. Now the reason they do that is so a lot of people will complain, hey, when I go to bed, I don't want the AC blasted straight on my face, and I don't want to hear it. So if it was a little loud to you, pushing it into the bathroom makes it quieter, and if your quick dumps are open, this is about as loud as it's going to get. You probably can't hear that, but if you can hear the difference, that's as loud as it gets, but it's taken out of the bedroom. Now the cool thing is when this door's closed, they left enough room for ventilation so that AC is still blowing, and if we close this, then it's going into your ductwork, right? So you're still getting all the benefits, and if you use the ducts in the bedroom, if you're like me, I like the AC blasting on me, you can just turn that duct. It's fully openable, closable, turnable, just like this one here. You can see, so you can open this. I'm doing a terrible demonstration, but you can open that and turn it back and forth. You got tons of extra storage. You got the vanity. Cool thing, storage hidden behind the vanity even, right? That's almost like a hidden safe, but it's not. And then you got your nice toilet there in the background. I'll get out of the way so Rick can show you that. Really cool. Again, truly 2 full bathrooms in a 38-foot motorhome. If you're wondering, hey, what's the true length? It's 38W. That means it's 39 and an inch, basically. So it's still under 40 feet. Tons of room, again, coming back into this bedroom, but into the living room. And another nice thing, if you are wanting to close off this bedroom space, again, because no one ever needs to use your bathroom, that sound you just heard, it latches into place. So it's not going to open when it's closed down, driving down the road, and then you just push that down, and that's how you access it. Now, of course, I'm not saying it's a lock or going to stop your kids from it, but it does at least give you the ability to kind of force close the space and have that separation. Whether someone's working up front or whether you just want the privacy in your bedroom, it's going to give you both of those options in the world. Again, don't forget, tons of room, tons to play with. For an entry-level diesel, you really can't beat this. You got the Freightliner, you got the Cummins, you got the generator, you got 2 ACs, you could sleep as many people as you want, or you could have the nicest closet and luxury dog bed in the RV market. My name's Bear over at McLean's RV, and this is the Forza 38W. I hope you call me, look it below. We might do a quick video also on the outside, but you got to buy this thing while we still have it. We've got one at each store at the moment that the inventory doesn't last. For our newest and most up-to-date inventory, you got to call me, look below. Bear from McLean's, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We'll talk to you later.